Good evening, everyone. As you all already know that from 2nd November you will be having your first internal examinations. And for that reason, in today's session, I am going to revise Unit 1 and Unit 2 because all the questions that will appear in your internal exam will belong to these two units only. So all of you need to study these two units thoroughly so that you can easily answer the questions of internal examination. Okay. So first of all, in today's session, I am going to explain in brief all the topics that I have taught in Unit 1 and Unit 2. So I'll mention all the topics which I have explained, and then I'm also going to tell you which are the topics are very important from the internal examination. So I'll mention all the topics which are important for internal examination, which you have to focus on, so that you can easily answer the questions in the examinations. Okay, so let's begin the session. First of all, in Unit 1, you have these topics. I have explained these topics in Unit 1. I have explained the meaning and definition of consumer behavior. So, consumer behavior is the study of the behavior of a consumer, means how they behave while taking a decision regarding purchase of any product. The behavior depends upon the nature, personality, attitude of the consumer, and the behavior of a consumer is also influenced by various external factors also. So consumer behavior is extremely important for all the organizations who are manufacturing product for the consumers, or they are providing any kind of service to the consumers. They need to understand what are the things which are necessary from a consumer point of view, and what are the elements which are considered to be important from a consumer point of view. They need to understand, and after that only they will be able to manufacture certain products which can fulfill the requirements and needs of all the consumers. So for that reason, they need to study the behavior pattern of the consumer so that they can provide such kind of products which will ultimately provide satisfaction to the consumers. Now, as a consumer, when you purchase a product, there are various reasons behind that purchase. Maybe you purchase a product because it looks good, or some may purchase the product because it is less expensive, it is cheap in nature. Some people purchase a product because they can get access to the product. So there are various reasons behind purchasing of any product. Some consumers are extremely loyal to the brands. They purchase only certain products belonging to certain brands only. So the behavior of consumer is different from consumer to consumer because human beings are very complicated. They are very complex. The nature behavior of one person is definitely different from other. So that's why their choices are different, their requirements are different, the methods that they use to satisfy their needs and wants, that is also extremely different. Some people prefer to show their status, some people do not do that. So that depends upon the nature, personality, the surroundings of the consumer. And for that reason, it becomes very difficult for every marketer to understand what consumers actually want. Are they easily influenced by the advertisement and promotion of the company, or they need to provide facts so that they can actually convince the consumers to purchase the product? So for that reason, they need to study the behavior of the consumers. Okay. Then comes nature of consumer behavior. Now, nature of consumer behavior can be explained in two aspects. First one is consumer aspect, and the second one is it can be explained as a separate discipline also. So as a consumer aspect, we can say that it is a very systematic process, because when we try to purchase a product, when we want to purchase a product, we feel that we need to collect information about the product. We need to understand each and every facility or features of the product that we are supposed to purchase. We can go and find out certain reviews of those products also. So there are various other things also. So purchasing of a product, or we can say whenever we want to possess any kind of product, we follow a systematic process. First of all, we try to analyze what are the things that we actually need. Then we try to collect information about all the alternative products that can actually satisfy our needs. So in that process, we try to find out the best product for us which will satisfy our needs. Okay, then it is also different from consumer to consumer, person to person. One person may spend more amount of money because they believe in brand or something. Some people do not want to spend huge amount of money. So behavior of a consumer is different from person to person, and it is also different from product to product. For example, one consumer may prefer to spend a large amount of money on food, but the person does not want to spend a large amount of money on apparels. That is his or her personal choice. So we also make differentiation between one product and another product. So our behavior towards one product does not mean that the same behavior, we will have the same behavior while purchasing the other products also. So it is different from product to product, customer to customer. And some people feel that consumer behavior is about reflecting the status, purchasing expensive products, expensive cars, expensive and luxurious items so that they can reflect the status. And some people try to consume all the products which are consumed by the people surrounding that person, because they want to consume something, they want to have something which is tried and tested by many. So in that way, from consumer point of view, nature of consumer behavior states that it is a systematic process. It is different from consumer to consumer. It is also different from product to product. It may reflect status. It is very complex in nature, because like I said, human beings, it is very difficult to predict the behavior and personality of a human being, and each and every person has different kind of personality and attitude. So that's why it is very complex. So from consumer point of view, we can say these are the nature of consumer behavior. Okay. So the nature of consumer behavior can also be explained as a discipline. It is also considered as a separate discipline, because it has contribution from various other disciplines like economics, anthropology, sociology. So different other disciplines have a huge contribution towards consumer behavior. Psychology is extremely necessary to understand the thinking of the consumers, thinking of the human being, how they behave, how they react to certain products and their features and advertisement. Sociology is also very important, how people prefer to socialize with others. So these are the various disciplines which have huge contribution towards consumer behavior. Now, consumer behavior is also studied at the micro and macro level, because we are not only studying about the behavior of a consumer as an individual, but we are also studying the behavior of a consumer when the person is in a group. So as an individual, our behavior may be different, but when we become part of a group, our behavior can completely contradict our behavior with when we are individual. So that's why it is also studied at macro and micro level. So that's why it is considered as a separate discipline. And there are various other aspects also which will clearly explain the nature of consumer behavior as a discipline. Then comes application of consumer behavior. How consumer behavior is applied by different organizations, whether it is creation of a strategy, formulation of a marketing strategy, or segmentation of the consumers, how to segment consumer based on their preference, based on their behavior, uh, selecting a target market. So these are the various ways through which consumer behavior is applied by the marketer, whether they want to create a marketing strategy, whether they want to use consumer behavior, the study of consumer behavior for non-profit organizations. There are many non-profit organizations who also apply the study of consumer behavior to convince people to understand their point of view, to donate, to make donations to their organization, and various other elements also. So consumer behavior is not only applied for different types of organization who are means which are created for making for profit, but these are also applied. The study of consumer behavior is also applied by various non-profit organizations also. Okay. Then comes interdisciplinary contribution to consumer behavior. Like I said, there are many different disciplines which have huge contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. For example, economics. Economics states the rule of demand and supply, income, or even purchasing power of the consumer. Because why we demand a particular product, and even if we require a particular product, why we do not purchase it? Maybe because of our income. So these are the concepts which helps the study of consumer behavior, the concepts related to demand, supply, purchasing power, income of the consumer. So these are the different elements which play a major role in understanding the behavior of a consumer, and that's why they have huge contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. Then comes psychology. In order to understand a human mind, every organization needs to understand the psychological aspect of every human being. Because, like I said, each and every human being is different from another. Their thinking is different, the way they react to a situation is different, the way they accept a product or advertisement or the features of a product is also very different. So that's why psychology plays a very important role in the study of consumer behavior. Like that, sociology, anthropology, there are various other disciplines also which have huge contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. Then comes the scope of consumer behavior. So the scope of consumer behavior is very wide. Like I said, the study of consumer behavior is not only used in a profit-making organization, but these are also used in non-profit organizations to make their point of view clear to the society, to help them to make the society understand about their organization, why they have started the organization, what is the objective of the organization. So the scope of consumer behavior is very wide, because in advertisement also the study of consumer behavior is applied. In promotion also it is applied. It also helps in creating marketing strategy, understanding marketing mix. It also helps the marketers to understand what are the different elements which can actually influence the consumer behavior. So because of these elements, the scope of consumer behavior is very wide. It is used in segmentation, it is used in creating of target market, it is also used in various other aspects also. Then comes why study consumer behavior. Now, from an organizational point of view, the study of consumer behavior is extremely important because uh, they are facing competition from many competitors. If they do not try to understand the behavior pattern of the consumer, the competitors will move ahead of them. They will take their consumers, their number of consumers will keep on increasing. So because of these kind of complexity in the business, every organization need to study the consumer behavior. And that's why it also helps in many ways, like I said, in creation of advertisement, in creation of promotional strategy, segmentation of the consumers, categorizing consumers, understanding the needs and requirements of the consumers, and then manufacturing products which will help the consumers to satisfy their requirements. It also helps in creation of different marketing strategies, marketing programs. It also helps in making necessary modification in such marketing programs. It helps in retention of the existing consumers, creation of new consumers. So these are the various reasons because of which each and every organization must conduct the study of consumer behavior. So this is all about your first unit. I have just given a brief explanation about each and every topic. And from the first unit, the most important aspect of the first unit is the interdisciplinary contribution to consumer behavior. How different types of discipline contribute towards the study of consumer behavior, whether it is social psychology or anthropology, sociology, economics, psychology, they have major contribution and how they have contributed. So this topic is extremely important in unit 1. Then another one is the nature of consumer behavior. I have already explained this in two sections so that it will be easy for you to understand the nature of consumer behavior and the application, how consumer behavior is applied in various areas, whether it is a creation of a marketing mix, whether it is creation of target consumer segmentation, marketing strategy. So these three topics are extremely important in unit 1. Now, it does not mean that other topics are not that important, but still these three topics are very important because it will help you to understand the basic concept of consumer behavior. Okay, so this is about the first unit. Now, let's move on to unit 2. So, first of all, the unit 2 is about consumer as individual. Now consider consumers as individual, and there are various aspects of an individual. There are different types of needs that we have to satisfy in order to survive, in order to live. Some of the basic physiological needs, food, water, shelter, these are the needs which are extremely necessary to survive. So that is the need aspect of a consumer as an individual. Then comes motivation. What are the different factors which actually motivate us to purchase a particular product? Why we are motivated to satisfy our need? So that is motivation, another aspect of consumer as individual. And the last one is personality, which you all can consider one of the most important topic of unit 2, because our behavior and how we satisfy our wants, requirements, what kind of products we consume, how we take decision, how we select products and brands, that actually depends upon our personality. And our personality is also influenced by various factors. And many organizations also try to influence our personality through various means. So second unit is all about understanding consumer as individuals, what are their needs, how they get motivated, and what kind of personality usually consumers have, and what are the various factors which influence the personality of consumers. So the first one is needs. Needs means basic requirements which are necessary for survival, which are necessary for making our life more comfortable. Now certain needs may be similar, like I said, food, water, shelter, these are the basic needs of each and every human being. But other needs may be different from person to person. One person would like to have all luxurious items. One person do not want to spend a large amount of money in materialistic things. So that depends upon the type of personality. It also depends upon the type of personality. So the first topic under needs is characteristics of need. So you all must have heard that needs are never fully satisfied. When one need is satisfied, another needs take place of the previous one. So we can say it is a continuous process. We cannot say that our each and every of our needs are fully satisfied, because suppose we want a small house, you have a small house, now you desire for a bigger house. You have a small car and now you desire for a bigger car. So our needs keep on increasing, and it is a never ending process. So that is one of the important characteristics of need. Another one is that as human beings, we always try to satisfy our needs, but is it actually possible to satisfy all our needs? Because it multiplies so quickly. It is extremely difficult for a person to satisfy all his or her needs. So it has lack of satisfaction. We cannot satisfy all our needs, and our needs also grow, they modify, they change, and some of our needs remain dormant also. We sometimes are not even aware that these are the things that we require. So these are some of the basic characteristics of need. Now I am going to explain the various types of needs. Now this topic is extremely important in unit 2. So as consumers, first of all, we have to satisfy our physiological needs, which are necessary to live, which are necessary to survive. So that is one category of need. Another one, a category that is gives us some kind of security, some kind of safety. We want to live in an environment which is safe for us. We want to consume all those products which provide some kind of safety to us. There is another type of need that is called need to give, that as human beings we always feel that we have to give something to someone, whether our relatives, friends, or to even unknown people. So that is one kind of need. Another one is need for information, like whenever we decide to purchase a particular product or purchase one, means suppose you want to purchase a washing machine. What is the first thing you're supposed to do? First of all, you will find out all the types of brands which are available in your locality, and then you're going to find out which model, which brand can be trustworthy, which brand provides good products, which brand provides proper after sales service, and then you select the brand. Then you move on to the models, features, specifications, and everything. So this is called need for information. Whenever we want to purchase any product, we collect information so that we can make a clear decision regarding selection of the product, which product we are supposed to purchase based on those information. Like this, there are various other types of need to pleasure. Means we need to do something for ourselves, go on a long drive or a vacation. We try to make us happy. The need for affection and love, because as social animals, we always live in groups. We want to get associated with the group. We want to have friends, family members. So these are the various types of needs, and these needs also these needs arises because as human beings we want to fulfill these needs from various types of products. So that is the types of needs. And then you have trio of needs. It includes power, affiliation, and achievement. As human beings, we always want to be in control of ourselves, what we want in our life. We want to feel that our life is not controlled by anyone else. We ourselves control our lives. So that is the power that we want to have. Then we want affiliation, acceptance from others, people around us who are important for us. And then we focus on achievement. What are the things that we have achieved in our life, the position that we wanted to achieve, whether we have achieved or not. So these are the trio of needs. Okay, now we will move on to the next topic, that is called consumer motivation. Motivation here basically means what are the various factors, what are the various things that actually motivates a consumer to purchase a product. So we can say that it is an inner state which helps us to satisfy both our conscious and unconscious needs. So it is something in ourselves which motivates us, motivates us, drives us to achieve or satisfy our needs, both unconscious and conscious. So in consumer behavior, you have components of motivation. There are three basic components like expectancy, balance, and another one is instrumentality. These are the three components of motivation. Means what are the various things that we try to achieve. Like expectancy means when we have certain expectations that we want to fulfill, and then there are different ways our actions lead to satisfaction of our needs, and then we achieve some kind of value after our needs are satisfied. So these are the components of motivation. And then you have dynamics of motivation, like that needs are never fully satisfied. Some of the dynamics of motivation is that they are not fully satisfied. A new need arises when the old need satisfies. And there are various types of means, like when means how we get motivated in order to satisfy our needs, that is called arousal of motive. So these are the different dynamics of motivation that explains us what is need and why we cannot fulfill all our needs, for how one need arises after completion, after fulfillment of another needs. So these are the different dynamics of needs. And then comes motivating consumers. Now many marketers try to motivate the consumers through different way. Some of they try to motivate the consumers through money. by giving heavy discounts or some kind of different offers. So these are the methods which are used by marketers, by companies to attract consumers, motivate them so that they will purchase their products. So they try to motivate consumers, like I said, by money, like providing heavy discounts, or by providing different kinds of incentives, like some benefits, some free items with their product, or they can increase the curiosity of the consumer so that they will be motivated to collect more and more information about the product, and they may end up buying the product also. So these are the various tricks which are used by the companies to motivate the consumers to attract towards their product, to uh, sell their products to the consumers. Then comes motivation research. Different kinds of research are also conducted regarding motivation, how consumers are motivated, how companies motivate the consumers. So there are two aspects of motivation research, is that in-depth interview, means finding out in detail uh, regarding the thinking of the consumer, what are the different aspects that actually influence the consumers. And then there are different types of techniques which are used to understand the information collected from the consumer. So motivation research is also an important part of the unit 2, because it helps to understand the the practical aspect of consumer behavior, how data can be collected, how it can be interpreted through different techniques. And then comes Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So this is the theory created by Maslow regarding the hierarchy of needs, because he has mentioned around five categories of need: physiological needs, safety needs, and then comes social needs, self-esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. These are the five types of needs which each and every human being try to satisfy. So physiological needs comes at the beginning, because we need to satisfy our basic requirements. Then comes safety needs, whether we want to live in a safe, secure environment, or we want to consume products which provide us some kind of safety. Then comes social needs. We try to socialize with people because we are living in a society. We want to get associated with group of people. So there comes social needs. Then comes self-esteem needs. We want to increase our status. We want to show our status. We want to achieve. And then comes self-actualization needs. When all the needs are satisfied, then we move to this type of need when we try to explore ourselves, do something for ourselves which gives us happiness. So that is called self-actualization needs. So this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which are also used by marketers. It also has marketing applications in various ways. So Maslow's need of hierarchy is used for segmentation, and also it is used for designing the products, understanding the requirements of the consumers. They need to understand the consumers and in what level they are at, whether they are at first level of need or final level of the need, so that they can create products to satisfy their needs. So it is applied in creation of in segmentation of the consumer as well as in the product design. Okay, so consumer motivation is also an important part of unit 2, and like you all already know that Maslow's hierarchy of need is the most important theory in this category. So Maslow's hierarchy need is extremely important, and the dynamics and the motivating consumer aspect is also very important, because this helps to understand what are the various aspects of motivation, and how these aspects are utilized by the marketers to motivate consumers, whether they motivate by money or they motivate by providing different types of incentives. So these are the important topics in unit 2. And the last topic in unit 2 is personality, which is the most important one, because our behavior actually depends upon our personality, what kind of product that we purchase, what kind of advertisement we accept, how we understand the advertisement, how we understand the promotional activities of a product. That depends upon our personality. Okay, and the personality is also uh, influenced by various external factors. It's not that personality do not change, personality also changes, but it takes time. So the topics that I have explained in personality is the nature of personality, what are the means what to what extent personality influences consumer behavior, Then you have Freudian theory of personality, Neo-Freudian theory, and self-concept theory. So these are the important topics of personality which I have explained in Unit 2. So there are various, we can say, natures of means nature of personality, like that. Personality is expresses the difference in individual, how one a person is different from another person, that is reflected through each and everyone's personality. Then we can say that personality is very consistent, but it also changes from time to time. Some people are more materialistic in nature. Some people want to purchase products created and manufactured in their own country. So there are different types of personality, and there are various elements to it also. Like I said, some people are more towards purchasing products created and manufactured in their country. Some people prefer to purchase products from big brands. They are very loyal towards brand. So these are the things that describe the nature of personality. Then comes influence of personality on consumer behavior. To what extent personality influences the consumer behavior? So personality influence consumer behavior in different way. Like I said, a person who is more towards purchasing products created in his or her own country, they will always purchase the product belong to their own country. So that kind of personality has a major influence on the purchasing of a person. Then if a person is more materialistic in nature, they will purchase more and more products, whether it is expensive, whether it is luxury. Their entire personality revolves around purchase of expensive items so that they can reflect their status, they can show off their status and money. So that is one type of personality. Another personality is that they want to understand the product thoroughly, they want to collect information, and then they will purchase any kind of product. Some people are more into brand. They want to purchase products which belong to good brands, big brands. So that is, these type of factors of personality has major influence on consumer behavior. Next one is Freudian theory of personality. So this theory is described by Freud, and according to him there are three parts of the personality: id, ego, and superego. And to how they are similar, how they are different, he has completely explained in this theory. That id is like an animal instinct. It follows whatever it requires at that particular time. So it is completely like animal instinct. Ego is something that tells us that what is the right way of satisfying our needs. Super ego gives shows us the idea, helps us to understand the difference between right and wrong. So this is the theory of personality described by Freud. And then comes Neo-Freudian theory. Many authors do not agree with the Freudian theory of personality, and they have described how Freudian theory has different, we can say, different limitations or shortcomings. So there are three theories I have explained, given by three different authors, and they have explained their point of view regarding how they disagree with Freudian theory of personality, and how personality can be different from the explanation given by Freud. And then comes self-concept theories. And self-concept means what kind of concept we have for ourselves, how we feel for ourselves, what kind of image that we want to achieve for ourselves, what kind of image we want to have, and what kind of image that we actually have. So there are three different types of self: the self that we actually have, the self that we would like to possess, and the self that we represent to others. So that is the self concept theory. So these are the different topics that I have explained in unit 2 under the topic of personality. So in personality, the important elements are the theories of personality: Freudian, Neo-Freudian, self-concept theory, and the influence of personality, how personality has major influence over consumer behavior. So in this video, I have explained very extremely briefly, sorry, in this video, I have explained briefly about all the topics that I have explained, and you can follow all my previous videos if you want to clear your doubts or you want to understand thoroughly each and every topic. So in personality, the important aspects, like I said, influence of personality, Freudian theory, self-concept, and others. I have already mentioned all the important topics from both the units. So you can study thoroughly those topics so that you can appear your internal examination So this is a revision of both the units, all the topics that I have explained. So questions will be coming from these topics only. Okay, so that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.